Hey, what's up? It's Adam Young from Owl City, also known as Mr. Owl, or you name it, I'll respond to it. And here we are at Livestream in the studio in New York City. I just got on a plane from Minnesota this morning, so I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, as they say. But it's great to be here, and this is an exciting day because I was just counting on my fingers how many records I put out, and I think today is number 5. So here it is right here, so excited. This is the first time I've actually ever held it in my hands. I haven't actually seen it printed out yet in a case. The lyrics are in it. There's a CD in here. You can put it in your car, not in your microwave. And it's an exciting thing to be five records deep into a career that I never thought I'd ever have. So it's kind of a dream come true to be here, talking about it, kind of rambling on and on. I'm so excited about this. The plan right now is just to tour up a storm. The record is out today, and basically I'll be out here on the road from now until Christmas. So there's a lot to do. There's lots of cities to visit and whatever, but so excited. And I just have to say, the classic, just thank you so much for sticking with me. For all these years, those of you who have been with me since day one, since way back at Of June, the first EP I ever put out on MySpace. So grateful for your support. Never thought I'd be able to focus all of my energy and my intentions on the one thing I've ever been passionate about. So here it is in my hand. I get to do this as a career, and it's all thanks to you guys. So let's get into it. This is the listening party for the brand new record, the Midsummer Station. So excited. It's 12 songs. But first, let me take a question from one of the fans out there in live stream world. Caitlin H. asks, what were your biggest influences while you were writing these lyrics for the album? Which is a great question, because with this record, more than any other, I've found that the music sort of inspired itself, and the lyrics kind of inspired themselves from the vibe or the mood of the music. The way I put together tracks, I always write music before lyric. So generally when I have a full instrumental production all put together, all produced, all arranged and ready to go, generally there's everything I need to pull from as far as vibe and mood and just the whole overall experience of that song. That feels like something to me. So if it's an upbeat song, it feels very anthemic and it feels exciting and it feels upbeat and crazy. If it's a ballad, it's going to be a sad, melancholy song or whatever. So generally, there isn't one place I can say I was inspired by on a given track across the board as far as lyrics. So that's kind of the long answer. The music kind of writes itself is the short answer. So let's get into it. Let's listen. This is exciting because how many people get to listen to their record played down from top to bottom, on like the day it comes out? It's a crazy thing. So first track is called Dreams and Disasters. Here it is. I hope you enjoy it. Take it away. Hey kids, it's Adam Young from Owl City here again, and this is a big day. This is a special day. Record number 5 just came out. I woke up this morning and I went to iTunes, I went to the homepage, and there it was, number 1, which is a crazy feeling. And it's hard to describe that stuff. It's hard to kind of process it all for a kid, with nothing, from a small town, never had a plan, never had a goal. It's a beautiful thing. So the new record is out, Midsummer Station. Brand new record. He's so excited. It's like it's a different sound than anything I've ever done in the past, but I think as a result, it's a record that I'm more excited about than any record I've ever put out in the past. Because I think why repeat yourself? Why keep doing what you've always done? There's a part of you that you should never lose, and that's certainly the case with me that I want to preserve. But I'm so excited about this. It's really a dream come true. So one more question from the fans. Sterling P says or asks, was there any defining moment in your life when you realized you wanted to create music for a living? Which is a big question. There's a big answer to the question as well, but the short version is I remember when I first started getting emails from record labels and management companies and attorneys and business managers and you name it, back on MySpace, 2007, 2008. I remember thinking, these can't be real. These have to be hoaxes, because how is it that this kid who's putting music up online by himself, making his own stuff in his own bedroom, posting songs online, how is he drawing any kind of attention from anyone, let alone people in skyscrapers from New York with suits on? I didn't think that stuff would ever find me in my little town in Minnesota. But I remember thinking, these people believe in what I do, and maybe I have a shot. So it was that moment, checking those MySpace messages and thinking, wow, people are really interested in what I'm doing, and they're connecting with what I'm doing. That's a feeling like no other. So it was then that I thought, wow, maybe I can quit my job, working for Coca-Cola, loading trucks, doing that whole thing. Maybe I can quit that stuff and go out on the road and start touring, make records, meet people, chase dreams. So exciting. So let's get back into the record. Track number 2 is called Shooting Star. Really excited about this one. I was lucky enough to work with the incredible production duo Stargate on this track. The intro of this song was actually an old leftover idea that I produced for a song off of Ocean Eyes, and it never made the cut on Ocean Eyes. I kind of lost where I was going with it, so I took it to Stargate and I said, what do you guys think about this track? It's kind of middle of the road, but I think if you guys are feeling it, we could probably take this thing over the finish line. And they said, yeah, this is what we think. So after a few days in the studio later, Shooting Star was in the can, and here it is. So there it was. It's called Shooting Star. I got to work with Stargate up at Jay-Z's studio here in New York City. Spent 2 days with them. Great guys, a lot of fun. Like I said before, that track was a cut from Ocean Eyes that didn't make it. So it's so cool to listen back to that and hear it kind of after its regeneration, and it's like it's got a whole new life to it. So super stoked on that one. Track 3 is called Gold. Got to work with this brilliant writer named Emily Wright from Dr. Luke's universe, and also Nate Campany, a brilliant writer from out here in New York City too. And the first track I've ever really got to cut up like a long vocal phrase as a phrasing, the go that's all just cut up on the grid in Pro Tools. So it was the first time I've ever been able to do that. Ever wanted to really do that. So I think it turned out really cool, and very excited about that one. So much fun to play live. Each time we play this song, it's like every night around the world, more and more kids know the words, and it's one of those real live songs. The more you play it, the more fun it gets. So before we play it, let's do one more question from the fans. Lucy M asks, I really love the Midsummer Station cover. What inspired you to make the cover like this? I think it was February or March of earlier this year, and I was just looking around online. I think it was on Tumblr, and I happened to stumble across this album cover. And I saw the photo sort of as is, and I remember thinking, this photo looks to me like the way I want my music to sound to other people when they hear it. So I emailed my manager and I said, we have to figure out who owns this photo, and we have to track this guy down and see if we can buy the rights to it and put it out, put text over it, and just like leave it as is. So we found this guy from Lithuania, who was gracious enough to let us use it, and so it's there in its full form on the album cover. So thrilled. I just like looking at it. So yeah, track 3 is called Gold. Here it is. So there it was. It's called Gold. Short and sweet. That's just like a song that's a lot of fun to sing. It's like just a lot of fun to sing around the house, So yeah, it's thrilled to death about that one. Dasha V asks, out of your favorite artists, who would you like to record a track with? And I have to say Enya, because I love what Enya does. I love it's sort of a weird pairing conceptually, Adam Young and Enya, but I think it'd be really special, and for me it'd be a dream come true. I love how she embodies this world that's inherently her, and no one else can come close to it. To me, that's what artistry is all about, and she has a legacy that she left behind that's mind blowing. So for me, as a young artist, she's somebody I really look up to as far as career and the world that she's built for herself. So yeah, Enya, I don't know what the music would sound like. I think it would be very dreamy though, because what she does is so tranquil and relaxing, and I've heard people say the same about me, so it could be amazing. So Enya is top of my list. Track 4 off the Midsummer Station is called Dementia, and I had kind of another dream come true. I got to work with Mark Hoppus. I've been a huge Blink fan for years and years and years. Some of the first songs I ever learned to play guitar. You know, every junior high boy gets a guitar and he learns to play Blink-182 songs. So those were mine. I got to work with Mark. I think he lives in London, and he was gracious enough to fly to New York to his studio here. We took a few hours and recorded his vocal parts in studio, and the song was done before we knew it. Great guy. There's always this thing where you're a little bit worried about meeting your heroes for the first time because you're not sure if they're going to be who you think they are based on their persona, their public, perceived identity. And when you fall in love with somebody's music, you sort of get to know them as an intimate, person. And I think that's an important thing. So got to know Mark even better. It was great. It was a great guy. So yeah, Dementia featuring Mark Hoppus. Here you go. Hey, it's Adam Young from Owl City. That was Dementia. We're here live at Livestream, listening to the new record, the Midsummer Station. So excited about it. Just came out this morning. Woke up and it was number 1 on iTunes. Dreams coming true left and right for this guy. Jordan M says, what inspired the name the Midsummer Station? Truth be told, it's all about the imagery. It's all about where your mind goes when you hear the title or you see it written out. I'm really into that stuff. I love thinking about where my mind goes when I hear two words put together that don't add up. And that plus the album cover is like, where is this place? Where am I going? Like, where is this music going to carry me? And I love that. So that's kind of the short answer behind the name. Track number 5 is called I'm Coming After You. So much fun. This might be my favorite track on the new record because it's really cheeky. It's not to be sung in any kind of seriousness, so it's all about tongue in cheek, and there's nobody better at puns. The subtle genius of punnery, if you will, is Matt Thiessen from Reliant K. He, myself, and this guy, Brian Lee, brilliant writer from Nashville, LA, and New York, kind of bouncing around between all 3 places. Took a day in Nashville at Matt's house and wrote this track. So excited about this one. This one's like, I can't wait to play this one live. We haven't yet this year, but we're headed out on tour in next week, I think it is. They didn't really tell me anything. I just get on the bus and go and play when they say play. So that's on the set list. It's called I'm Coming After You, and here you go. It's called I'm Coming After You. Stoked out of my head about that one. By the way, be sure to stick around after we're done playing the record down. Going to play some stripped down, very unpolished acoustic versions of 2 songs. So stick around for that. Josh F. asks, what's your favorite song out of any of your albums? And it's kind of cheesy, I have to say. Is it cheesy if I just say Fireflies? Because there's something about that song, for whatever reason, that people all around the world connect with. I don't know what it is, even to this day. But there's something about playing that song literally all around the world, on every continent, that there's a moment. There's the first sort of down chorus. I take out one of my in-ears and I say, you guys sing this. And I like hold out the mic and I listen to the crowd sing it. And every night is different. And that's the beauty of music, the power of the music to reach people. Because all around the world, there's people that maybe don't know English as their first language. And they're singing these lyrics that I wrote a million miles away in my parents' basement. It's an incredible thing. So Fireflies is my favorite song. Track 6. Probably my favorite production as far as instrumental, like programming and synth work and kind of just beat making on the new record. It's called Speed of Love. I played a show last year at the 930 Club in DC, and I remember right after soundcheck, I started making this track, and I had it in my head for a long time, and I remember playing it for a bunch of my friends, and and like check out this crazy, like production synth like mess, so I'm really excited about this one. This is my favorite, like dance production track on the new record. Top Line was written by myself and Matt Thiessen and Sam Hollander from LA. So here you go. I hope you enjoy it. It's called The Speed of Love. Speed of Love, so cool. I just like listening to that. Usually I don't listen to my own music, but I have the final master, like the reference master on a CD in my car, and I start the car and that's playing, and it's like I have to just go drive around the block till it's over because it's so much fun to listen to. So, Speed of Love. Aiden V asks, "What's your favorite instrument to play, and why?" And I usually play the laptop more than I do anything else. As a producer, it's all about programming and MIDI, and it's like an endless worlds upon worlds. But I think drums, if I had to pick like a traditional instrument, I started playing drums in high school. I just like the way it feels to play drums. I just like how you feel it. You don't really hear it. You just kind of feel it, and it just kind of happens, So at home when I'm working on a track, I love to just like program a synth line out, and then I'll just loop that forever, and I'll go put on headphones and sit down at the drums and like write some kind of beat over it, and then I'll sit down at the computer again and then program whatever I just written. So it's really inspirational for me, probably more as a device for inspiration than anything else, because I'm not a very good drummer, but I love it. Track number 7, listening to the new record, the Midsummer Station, playing it from top to bottom. So far so good. We're about halfway into it here. Track 7 is called Good Time, and I've told the story a million times, but it's important, so it's worth saying it again. Working with Carly Rae was a dream come true. Last March, I was looking for a very like strong female vocalist, and my manager said, I have a mutual buddy manager who does Justin Bieber, and he just signed this new girl, Carly Rae, and see what you think. Here's a link to her music. Go see what you think. And right away I thought I have to get Carly to sing on this track because she's perfect for it. So it was as easy as I just got her email address, and I sent her an email, and I said, "Hey, it's Adam from Owl City. This is what I do. This is a track called Good Time. I think you'd be perfect for if you're into it. So let me know what you think." And she wrote back and said, "Yeah, I love it. I love it to death. I'm in Ottawa." I think she was at the time. "I'm in Ottawa, Canada. Send me the files, and I'll record my stuff and send them back to you." So I never got to meet her in person until the video shoot. So it was cool because I felt like I'd known her my whole life, But anyway, she's an amazing person, Carly Rae Jepsen. So here it is, called Good Time. Owl City and Carly Rae Jepsen is called Good Time. Was a blast to make that track. Skylar S asks, "What was your favorite part of working with Carly Rae?" And that's where it gets tricky because we did everything over the internet. And that's the beauty of online and technology and sending WAV files back and forth, which take forever to download where I live. But it was easy. Usually when you work with somebody else, especially another vocalist, you send them their parts and they have this endless list of notes to say, this is great, but here's all the things I want to change, which is great. That's what collaborating is. But Carly was so down to do it. She was just down to get down, if you will. And she said, I'm in to get down, to have a good time. So all of a sudden the song was done. And I love how it turned out. If it was anybody else than Carly on the track, I don't think the song would be nearly as good. It's like get the chills when I listen to that track. So yeah, so grateful to Carly. Track 8 on Midsummer Station. Wow, getting towards the end here. It's called Embers, and it's sort of the part 2 of track number 2 called Shooting Star. In that it's like this very very sort of rise up, anthemic unite, because the dark days are inevitable and they're headed your way. But you can't dwell on those things. If you can figure out how to look past those dark days and sort of join together to overcome those, you're way better off because you suddenly have a brighter outlook. So Embers is a very sort of rise from the ashes kind of a song. So yeah, track number 8. Here you go, Embers. There was a track called Embers, big rock song. That one and Dementia, kind of the two rock anthems of the record. Lots of big guitars and stuff, which I haven't really experimented with either in the past, but I love that stuff. I grew up listening to that stuff. So it definitely found its way as an inspiration onto this record. Track number 9 is called Silhouette. I love writing music from the imagination, sort of purely from the imagination. But this song is sort of the opposite. This is probably the most personal, sort of deep, very, very based in reality song I've ever written. I have a song called Lonely Lullaby that maybe rivals it a little bit, but this one is so down to the nitty-gritty reality of what I've been through. It's so drawn on past scenarios and past relationships that sort of went wrong and things I wish I could forget about, and figuring out how to let the past live in the past, kind of a thing. So very near and dear song to my heart. So it's kind of the ballad of the record. So here you go. I hope you enjoy it. It's called Silhouette. Two songs left, playing the Midsummer Station top to bottom. So cool to be able to do this. I think they used to let artists come into the mastering session at the end, the 11th hour of making a record, and play the whole thing down. But I don't think they do that anymore. So it's so cool to be able to do this and have you on the other end of the camera listening to. I hope you enjoy what you've heard so far. Two songs left. Track number 10 is called Metropolis. It's a song about Superman, believe it or not, but it doesn't mention him by name. And it plays to the idea that everybody thinks superheroes are indestructible. They think they're bulletproof. You can't take this guy down, but he has to deal with all of this baggage that never comes out. And what is that like? How that must kind of like eat away at his mind behind the scenes. When he's lying awake at night. So it's a bittersweet track. It's another kind of a ballad concept. Although it's a dance track. But this one I'm really proud of as well. Matt Thiessen and I worked on this one. He put a lot of great thought and inspiration behind it, and I love where it turned out. So track number 10, it's called Metropolis. Here you go. There was called Metropolis. That one's it's like no other song I've ever written before. And that's like one of the tracks I love. Like if there's nobody who's had any idea what my music sounds like, I'm playing that song. For some reason, that to me feels like what Owl City should sound like. It's sort of a poster song. Eleanor Pajamas asks, what was the first song you ever wrote? Hello Seattle was the first one I ever wrote. I didn't know what I was doing. I just put down the first thing that came to my mind. No rhyme or reason. Didn't do any revising or tweaking. I just put it down. If it rhymed, it was done, and that was it. And I'm still very proud of that one. Looking back at it, if I would have known, people would have, more people would have heard it than I'd ever imagined. I probably would have taken a lot more time on it and worked on it a lot harder. But I think there's a beauty to that kind of naivety. So yeah, Hello Seattle, first song. Stick around after this next track. We'll be doing a little stripped down acoustic, a couple songs. It's gonna be some fun. Last track 11. It's called Take It All Away. I feel like is the best kind of closer to a record I've ever done, because it sort of takes you down gently after kind of a crazy ride across a lot of different landscape, lots of ups and downs. And it's a sad song. It's kind of a depressing song lyrically, but there's something about it that feels it's like why I listen to the Swiss Army Romance by Dashboard Confessional if I have like girl problems and I'm dealing with like relational stuff. You have to have something that you can sort of like heal with, and I think this song, my hope is that this song is that for somebody else. If it's that for one other person, I feel like my job is done. So last song on the record is track 11. It's called Take It All Away. Here you go. Midsummer Station is available right now on iTunes. I hope you liked